sixth year.
Sixth year?
Yeah.
And what drove you to take the leap to get on the city council?
Well, along the way, everybody would like to maybe be involved in some way when decisions are made. They get frustrated. You do. Because you think, if I was there, if I was driving the car, then I would probably drive it in this manner.
Yeah.
So when you think there's a lot of challenges in your community, and the community's been very good to me, very much so. I've been very successful in having my practice in Evansville. And I got my children and my grandchildren live here, with the exception of one child. And I felt that I could make a difference. Of course, you get frustrated. It will happen.
Yeah.
It will happen. Even when you think that you're in the driver's seat or have the chance to drive the car, it's still, you have to maneuver the traffic.
Yes.
And any way you look at it, you can't control the traffic. I'm a creation of my environment. Over 35 years of being an analyst, you have a tendency to go out and try to garner up facts, empirical data, as they call it. And then you try to then formulate what you think is the correct answer. Well, when you're into that, I call it the old nerdism, I guess you'd call it. You think, well, wait a minute, I've analyzed everything, I've looked at it, and you know, this has got to be the correct thing. It's more of an algebraic type of approach. You think, you know, A equals B, B equals C, then C must equal A approach, and you know, it doesn't work quite like that. That's the unfortunate thing, which I've got to kind of get over.
Yeah.
Knowing that a lot of times, you know, obviously I don't have all the answers. If I did, I wouldn't be here. That's a fact. The key is to be open-minded, knowing that obviously I'm probably going to be more wrong than right most of the time. Frustrations come from within on those. Just does. Got to understand too, respect other people's opinions. You know, they have a right to those. Evaluate their opinions. Don't just dismiss them out of hand.
Yeah.
But be respectful and courteous and long-suffering. Because believe it or not, I've found out by doing that, you learn from those ideas, and you find out, wow, man, I didn't kind of look at it from that standpoint. That's the whole thing. When you deal in a committee format and or a council, which is a committee, you know, and you know, they always said a camel had to be made, had to be developed and created by a committee. That was what's said about that. One of the things that when I came on council, I was interested in a couple of high dollar line items in our expenditures of the city. Now there's a lot of them, of course, you know, police and fire, that's very expensive now. But one of the things that I noted early on was the amount of money we were spending for health care. It seemed to be higher than the norms, and so I focused on that right away. And during the efforts of that, we got ourselves about a 15% discount on what we were paying up to that point. Now, 15% may not seem like much, but when you're clicking along at $1.6, $1.7 million in healthcare expenditures, that turns out to be a little cool $2.3, $2.4 million savings. So that's one thing I looked at. The other thing that I've been a little disappointed in is the information technology budget that we're spending. We're spending out millions of dollars in that. So I was really pressing the prior administration to have in a budget a IT, I call it IT for Information Technologies assessment. And I was able to get that in the budget for 2011. They took 2012 went by. We waited until of late we got a report in which which one report said a lot of things need to be corrected, and then all of a sudden we had this other report that came in, and that seemed to be up in the air. So I'm not really too pleased about that. I think politics has come into play on that. That's my opinion. And and I had no agenda in it whatsoever. Some think that I had somebody who wanted to get the contract. That's not true. Anyway, I'm still working on that. That's my other motive, my motivation into those areas. The other side of it is try to cut out the fat as much as we can in our, and I'm still working at it. I've been the finance chairman for a total of, out of the 6 years I've been on council, 5 of them have been as finance chair. So now I'm in, let's see, 5th year, I don't know, let's see, this would be 6 years, so I've been 5 years, 5.5 years now into the, as a budget chairman. So anyway, I'm trying to do best I can to cut out waste and
Be efficient.
be efficient. Yes. Okay. From the standpoint of community, it gets very much emotional about that, because it's where not only I live, but it's also where my kids live and my grandchildren live. And then you got to be mindful about the fact that you want the city to grow. It has to grow, just like a church. You look around a church and you see people like myself with no hair, and you look around and you see the ladies there that they call them, white hair, or they call them blue hairs.
Yeah.
Then you know that church eventually is going to have issues. It's got to grow. And to grow, you got to convince your youth to be here. And when you got your youth, my emotions come in, because I've got to be mindful of that young person that chooses Evansville as their home. We gotta leave to them a house that's been clean, spotless, and worth dwelling in.
Basically, leave it better than how you found it.
Better how you found it, and that comes from fiscal responsibilities. If I'm going to leave a place cluttered with all kinds of unpaid bills and things in the corner, whatever, that's irresponsible.
Does that say my generation?
It basically says I don't have any regard for the next generation down. For that matter, it's 2 generations down, because obviously I could be old enough to probably be a grandfather. We must be endowed with those levels of responsibility. It's probably got on a national level. It's everywhere. Everybody thinks I'm going to kick the can down the road. I won't have to worry about that. I'll probably get whatever I'm going to get out of this position I have, benefit from it, and then move on attitude. We have way too many elected officials.